Welcome back to the Daily Discussion. So I heard a quote earlier that stated that goals are for losers. And it kind of took me aback at first. And I was like, well, that's kind of not what I would say and definitely not what I would agree with. But then it went on to say that when you only set long-term goals and when you inevitably don't reach them on a daily basis because they're long-term, all you're doing is making sure that you reestablish to yourself that you have lost again. So his point really was that if you set long-term goals and never set the daily or weekly, monthly, whatever process goals within there that you can then check off and say that you've met those goals for whatever shorter time frame, then you're reestablishing to yourself that you're not making your goals, which then inevitably has you start thinking that you're losing constantly. Now, when it was stated that way, it made a lot of sense to me. And it really goes back to all of this stuff that I talk about, is that there is a process that you have to establish within everything. And when you reach those process goals on a daily basis, make sure you're hitting your short-term targets, then the long-term things take care of themselves. So in reality, what you should, I shouldn't say should, one of the better ways to look at it is thinking about 20% of the time what you're going to be doing long term so that you know what you're reaching for, and then spend 80% of your time roughly thinking about what you got to do each day in order to be able to reach that and the time frame that you wanted to reach it. Now, it also helps that you actually establish a time frame, because if you don't establish a time frame and say, hey, I want to go do, I don't know, say a Spartan race, we'll just go there. Say, I want to run a Spartan race, but if you don't say within 2 years or within 1 year or within 6 months, then when are you going to do it? So there's a lot of things in there, but really the point of today would be then is don't just set long-term goals. Have that in mind and know what you're wanting to go towards, and then break that down into shorter term goals, something that you can check off daily and then maybe even weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is, depending on how long term that goal is, so that you can have little wins along the way and not feel like a loser the entire time until you reach that goal. It also gives you those waypoints to know that you're moving towards it still. So I don't know, what do you think about that? And if I just said that first part, would it throw you back too? And does the rest of it make sense, or does it still throw you off?